further illuminate the theme, inner heat, outer heat, the emotional climate shaping our world, may I now invite Dr. Christophe Dumas, the Minister for Science and Technology, as well as the Director of the GEP Research Center, leading the efforts of applications of the I theory in many sectors. The GEPRC already holds 2 patents and publishes in journals. May I invite Dr. Christophe Dumas to present the theme note.
So thank you, and I'm very pleased and honored to talk about this theme of this very special Global Energy Parliament. And I will start by sharing my screen. So this year the topic is inner heat, outer heat, and the emotional climate shaping our world. So Swamiji already talked about the inner heat and outer heat, so I won't talk a lot about that, but basically everything is made of energy, and energies as well as outside and inside us. So there is no real separation. And Swamiji already explained that we are made of the 5 elements: solid, liquid, heat, gas, and space. And these 5 elements are inside us as well as outside us. And as Swamiji already explained, fire is a very specific element. When we add some fire into a solid, it changes into a liquid, and a liquid changes into air, and so and so. So the fire is the phase change. It is the element which transforms everything. Without fire, there is no chemistry, there is no change, and fire is everywhere. And what about climate system? So I think we should define what is climate, because everybody has his own definition, but actually climate is the interplay of the 5 elements. So of course there is the sun, which is the fire and provide light and heat, but there is also the wind, the air, and there is also the liquid with the ocean, the river, the lakes, and there is also the solid, which is the earth, the ice, and the biosphere. And of course, there is the space around the planet. But as we already said, the 5 elements are also outside. When I'm breathing, the air inside, the air outside, it becomes my air inside. So how the 5 elements outside is affecting myself. So we will start with the outer solid, which is the earth and the soil. And we can see that everything is, so it is a screenshot of different peer-reviewed journal, article in peer-reviewed journal. So in pesticide, when we had pesticide and chemicals inside the soil, actually there is a lot of publication explaining that the farmer become depressive, and the rate of suicide is increasing also in the farmer, but also the pesticide creates a lot of problem in the chemicals in the body, and creates problem like disease like cancer, tumor, brain disorder, and that. So we will have one expert talking about that during the second day, so I won't extend too much on that. There is also a lot of problem with endocrine disruption, because many pesticides and chemicals are acting as hormone-like, and it creates a lot of problem in fertility, especially with the pregnant woman. Also, it creates a lot of problem in the brain of the fetus, and it's really a big problem right now. Also, the chemicals, the microplastic are everywhere, so it's a big problem right now. The other point is the soil acidification. Because of the rise of the temperature and the drought and the solidification right now, many of the plants are not very well developed in the roots, and the nutrients in the plants are very less right now. And when we eat not sufficient nutrients, it creates also risk of depression. So it also affects the mental health. And there is also some studies showing that the impact of climate change, for example, increase the concentration of arsenic in rice, especially, and it creates also a lot of problem. And it is said that by 2050, the rice won't be good enough for the health, and creates a lot of cancer and liver problem. It is almost the same in the liquid because all the pesticide and chemicals from the soils are going into the water body, in the river, the lake, and the sea. And we can say almost the same things as for the soil. The pesticide and chemicals are creating a lot of cancer and depression and suicide rates. For example, in Sri Lanka, when they decided to ban a lot of GMO, a lot of pesticide, the suicide rates of the farmer decrease dramatically. So it's a very important point. Also for the endocrine disrupting chemicals, it is also the same. There is a lot of problem of fertility right now for the men and for the women also, and it goes also to the breast milk and creates many problems for the development of the fetus. And there is a lot of cases of autism rising now. Also, the ocean acidification, we can say also the same problem as for the soil. Right now, there is a lot of CO2 which is stored in the ocean, and this CO2 increase the acidity of the ocean. And right now, there is a lot of problem with the floor inside the ocean, and also there is no sufficient food for the fish. The heat waves for the fire, the heat is also a big problem now. So just after, we will have one expert, Dr. Besson Vargas, which we will talk about that. So I won't extend too much, but basically, during the heat waves, we can see a lot of cardiovascular problem, and also the suicide rate and the mental disease problem are increasing during these heat waves. As Swamiji said, fire is also light, and light is the visual, the sights. And there is right now a lot of problem with the violent media content. It increases very serious violent behavior into with adolescent and young adults, and it's rising very fast right now. As the president of Mauritius is saying, there is a lot of problem of violence in the adolescents now. The air also is a main factor of mortality, with cardiovascular mortality and depressive symptom, especially with the size of the particulate matter in air. With very small size, it goes into the brain, and it creates brain disorder. And finally, the space. So quality of space is the sound. So the noise pollution is also a big problem, and it increases the mental health and the stress and the anxiety and the depression. So if you are living nearby a highway, you can understand that very easily. And also the rocket launch is a big problem. You can see on the left side the increase of the number of satellites and rocket launch. So it's totally crazy. Right now, there is 1 million of small particles inside around the Earth. And with the propellant, it creates a huge pollution in the ionosphere and in the atmosphere. For example, the ozone depression, you can see that the ozone layer is decreasing very dramatically. And also with the black carbon and NOx and aluminum particle inside the space right now, it increases the radiation on the Earth. So right now we discussed about the effect of the external world into my inner world. And as we said, our chemistry is the emotion, our emotion. And the point is how my emotion is shaping the world, how my emotion is changing outside. Emotion actually is very important point in the decision-making process. So if I am happy, I will act, and if I underestimate the risk, for example, if I am angry, I will act in a destructive way. If I have fear, I will be frozen and not acting. So we will have an expert talking about that on the second day. So I won't extend too much. But there is a lot of study about that. Also, emotion is very contagious. For example, when I spread my emotion into social media, it will go very fast. And there is a lot of studies showing that actually the emotion contagion can be modeled just like contagious disease. So they are showing that the contagious depression is very going fast. And also in some neuroscientists explaining that this sharing emotion is also due to the mirror neurons. So this concept is actually, they show that when I'm thinking something in my brain, some neurons are activating, and in the people in front of myself, in front of me, the same neuron will be activated in their brain. So my emotion and will be shared very fast from one person to another one. So knowing that, as Swamiji said, there is positive energy and negative energy. So I can, as human being, I can be able to discriminate my emotion and share positive emotion instead of negative emotion. So for that, there is different techniques. So in psychology, for example, there is emotion regulation. This is a very common topic, but we can also talk about meditation. But we can also explain that if we can restore our link with the nature, it is also a big factor. For example, many studies show that, for example, the air pollution or the noise pollution effects are very well balanced if we are in contact with a nature just a little bit, because the nature itself has a tendency to balance the 5 elements. So balancing the 5 elements outside is balancing the 5 elements inside me, and I can balance my emotion. So I hope that it gives you an overview of the topic and how we can apply the I theory and the 5 elements. And so thank you for listening. And I hope that this session will be very fruitful.